What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be doing three things. We're going to be breathing through the pores of our skin and the hair on our skin. We're going to feel what that feels like. We're going to feel our skin grabbing energy, prana, from the external environment and bringing it in. And then we're going to be doing that while we're breathing. So the first one we're going to do with breath retention. Then we're going to breathe while doing that. And then we're going to learn how to do that through different parts of our body. There's different parts where we can do that, but we're going to do it through our third eye, the forehead. So when we are in the womb, we are not breathing out of our nose and our mouth. However, we're still receiving force. So there's an embryonic breathing technique that we use when we're in our mother's womb. And we're receiving nutrients from the umbilical cord, but we're also receiving energy. So there's a soft spot on top of our head. This is an actual place where as an adult, we receive energy. Hence the reason for the hair and the hair bun. We also can receive energy through the third eye. We receive energy in the organs, primarily back here, back in the kidneys, which is why in Tai Chi and Qigong, they're always kind of stimulating the kidneys. We also, in the sacrum is the part of the tailbone that's kind of fused to the pelvis. There's actually holes that go in the sacrum, and in those channels, we are accepting energy. And then the perineum, which is why in Eastern philosophies, everyone's sitting on the ground with their legs going out. They're sitting cross-legged, but really what that's doing is opening the channels down there to receive life force energy from the earth. Now, with all that said, the master suction is the diaphragm. So the diaphragm, we can use the diaphragm to create sort of a vacuum so that we're drawing in energy throughout our body. So those were the gates I mentioned before, but we're going to learn how to do that with our skin because our skin is also breathing. We know that we put makeup all over the skin. If we cover our skin, we will die because the skin is breathing. It's breathing air and it's also breathing more etheric forces. It's inhaling and exhaling. It's getting, don't want to go too far down, but it's doing a lot of stuff, and we're going to feel that in experience right now. So back to the master suction is the diaphragm. So we're going to use the diaphragm to feel the suction of our skin. So I'm going to move the camera back. You can just kind of see how I'm sitting. So we want to make sure that the back isn't like this, and we want to kind of round the back so that the pelvis, as I was mentioning, the sacrum is open as opposed to like cramped close. We're going to put our hands, palms of our hands down on our knees, which isn't in the video, but my hands are down by the knees. We're kind of rounding our lower back. So this could be seen as bad posture, but really it's a more open posture. So we're in this position. If you want to lean on the seat rest, that's fine. And just close your eyes and start breathing regularly through the nose. Now I'm going to explain what we're going to do, and then we're all going to do it together. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop the breathing. We're going to take an inhale. We're going to stop the breathing on the exhale. And when we do that, then we're going to do this little pumping action, which is really our diaphragm trying to get more air in. But then instead of it coming in through the nose and the mouth, which actually doesn't receive this cosmic force does not come in through the nose and the mouth. So this is another reason why breath exercises are so popular, because it zings everybody up, because if you stop breathing, then you allow these other channels to come open and receptive, and you actually are pulling and drawing in energy. So we're going to stop our breath, and then we're going to be doing a pumping action. And it's going to be like a breath, but instead of coming out of our nose and our mouth, we're going to feel it in our skin. I feel it in my arms. You guys might feel it everywhere. I mostly feel it in my arms, and I feel it everywhere. You might feel it somewhere else, but there's going to be some place in your skin that's grabbing that air, and you're actually going to feel a vacuum effect. So back is rounded. We're going to take an inhale through the nose and exhale. Take another inhale through the nose and exhale all the air out. And then go ahead and start trying to breathe, but you're not really breathing. You're just pumping the diaphragm like a vacuum. Go ahead and breathe when you need to. You can exhale even up, or inhale up, and exhale down again. That's wild. Let's do one more. We can come out of that. Okay, so if you don't feel that, just keep on going. If you do feel that, we're going to move on to the next step. So if you can feel the diaphragm sucking, and you can feel it coming in your skin. You can feel the skin grabbing. It's grabbing for breath. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to keep that suction and that vacuum going. We're going to very slightly inhale as we're doing that. So exhale, and then very, very slightly breathe through the nose, but also feel the skin breathing as you're very gently breathing through the nose, and then exhale. So you're barely breathing in and barely breathing out. You're breathing in and out as little as possible, and you're retaining and getting most of your energy from your skin. So you might feel like you're breathing out through your skin. So you can go ahead and clear out your channels that way. Or if you want, you can turn it into a one-way valve. Turn your skin into a one-way valve where all you're doing is packing in energy. And this is we're doing a 10-minute video on something that could take months or years to master. So be patient with yourself. This next part, we're going to use that same technique where we're breathing air very slightly in, but we're drawing in more energy from outside to inside. But we're going to focus, instead of our entire skin, we're going to go right here through this gate. And it's going to be a one-way valve. The energy is going to come in. We might actually feel it as cold air, cold, wet energy air even. And then we're going to exhale it from the center of our head. It's going to exhale up. And I actually imagine splashing like a fountain going up and falling down inside my cranium. So we can even be seated upright or seated on a seat. If it doesn't feel right, we can even get cross-legged. So very, very slightly breathe through the nose when most of the energy is coming in through the forehead. And then very slightly exhale, and the energy is going up to the roof of the skull, kind of splashing down. Keep on doing that. If we're aware of these other ways to get force, the same way a baby does within the womb, we can really build the chi and the energy within us. So I give you guys permission to continue this for another 3, 5, 10, 11, 30 minutes. But I'm going to stop the video now and have fun with that.